coast to coast, direct from Austin. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
The World Health Organization and the CDC are both saying that Ebola is spreading exponentially. That's the headline from NBC News. I'm Alex Jones reporting from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide. Our reporters are preparing to embark up to New York City to cover the 13th anniversary of the tragic 9/11 attacks that were used to transform our country from a free republic to a high-tech banana republic. Buckley Hammond will be reporting from Chicago in the third hour. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. New York City approves sensors to pinpoint gunfire. He's in Chicago showing the sculptures they've put up all over the city that have microphones in them, listening to people. And when the public complains, they go, oh, it's the gunshot detectors. You're not for guns, are you? They put microphones up in 1998 in Austin and called them gunshot detectors. Not one person's ever been arrested or prosecuted using them. It is a keyword NSA data hub with federal grants, just like the asset forfeiture seizure with police stealing money out of old ladies' purses and not arresting them because they've done nothing wrong. The feds have a law that the locals can get 70–80% of the money back if they do it under a federal program, federalizing police. And the Washington Post reported on that yesterday. There's the headline. New sensors will scoop up big data on Chicago. That was in June of this year in the Chicago Tribune. Now they're in the news this week going, we don't know what the mystery towers are and what these electronic devices are inside the sculptures. And they have the FBI on TV going, geez, we don't know. I mean, we don't spy on you without warrants. So even though we have all the federal purchase orders, we know exactly what it all does. We've had top NSA whistleblower William Benny, the director of intelligence, on the number 3 or number 4 position there. We know exactly what it is. It's like the sun comes up in the morning and we go, that's the sun, the big ball of gas we orbit. No, actually, the FBI says we don't know what that is. Okay. 2 + 2 = 5. So here's the AP article. New York City approves sensors to pinpoint gunfire. Gunshot microphones proven to capture conversations. We'll be talking to Buckley Hammond out of studios in Chicago today, coming up at about 1:30, and then we'll be playing his filed report that was filed in our system last night. He shot it yesterday. We have it from Chicago, and so that special investigative report will be airing coming up in the third hour, but Buckley will also join us from studios up there in Chicago today. So that is all coming up in the third hour today. James O'Keefe, the award-winning, hardcore, fearless, double tough journalist, to steal a line from the remake of True Grit, will be joining us coming up for 30 minutes at the start of the next hour. He, of course, got his team through right across Lake Erie into the United States, dresses as jihadi with big bags marked Ebola and ryerson and other goodies. Speaking of that, Ebola is surging in places it had been beaten back. AP, Ebola virus outbreak. 4th Ebola patient lands in Atlanta. Not very smart. Ebola virus spread by taxi passengers, says World Health Organization. Area of animal to human Ebola risk bigger than study thought. AFP. U.S. Britain send troops to help fight Ebola in West Africa. U.S. Air Marshal in quarantine after syringe attack in Nigeria. That dovetails with this report. Virus hitting the U.S. could be tip of iceberg. CDC official says a respiratory virus is sending hundreds of children to hospitals throughout the Midwest and beyond. Health officials say the unusually high number of hospitalizations reported could be just the tip of the iceberg. says the virologists and directors of the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Division of Viral Diseases. What's happening? We'll break it all down. Straight ahead, I'm Alex Jones. To watch CNN or MSNBC, NBC, CBS, you name it, and they'll have CIA analysts on there saying, ISIS is inside the U.S. and could hit us any minute, on or before 9/11. And opinion polls show a majority of Americans want to strike ISIS, want to take them out. And we're talking about an illegitimate government that openly, publicly in the last 4 years has given al-Qaeda new bases in Iraq, new bases in places like Syria, allowed them to take over Libya. It is so frustrating because I don't support ISIS. I hate ISIS. Horrible, barbaric people cutting children's heads off, blowing up churches. Scum of the earth. But now we're going to bomb them after giving them the weapons to do it? Where's the congressional investigation? Where is the hue and cry? The only way this can happen is dinosaur state-run media continues to play along with it, and there'll be headlines in AP or headlines in AFP where they'll say, oh, top general says we helped create ISIS, or general says we armed ISIS, or Pentagon admits that we're partly to blame for ISIS. Not partly to blame like you accidentally got water on the floor and somebody walked in your house and fell down and broke their neck. You didn't do it on purpose. It's not premeditated. You're still liable. No, this was done on purpose to turn these monsters loose all over the world. And now it's gotten so out of hand that we're told we've got to go back into Iraq and all these places to contain ISIS. It makes me literally want to throw up. And they've been arming the so-called moderate rebels the whole time. No, they've been giving the arms directly to ISIS, which is really al-Qaeda. Now, I'm done talking about that. There's a bunch of developments in the news today on that subject I'll get to later. It's just a paradox that I really have trouble dealing with, because I'm not mad at Rand Paul calling for larger strikes on ISIS. I actually agree with it at a gut level. But however Obama does this will end up only turning into evil somehow, because the globalists have a policy of destabilization worldwide and taking out regimes that are stable and regimes that actually want to work with the West, because there's no money in being friends with the Middle East. There's a lot of money putting a bunch of crazies in charge. And now Boehner refuses to say if Congress should authorize ISIS war. See, they're all passing on this hot potato around. Now, separately, while all that's going on, Zuckerberg pushes for total amnesty in a North American union, Breitbart reports, at billionaire Carlos Slim's charity event in Mexico. And, of course, Carlos Slim owns the New York Times and a bunch of other media and is a known mafia don, and is lobbying for the end of our borders completely. It's all these billionaire scammers like Zuckerberg with his pump and dump, who censors Facebook and only allows anti-gun groups and people to operate, to get up there and lobby constantly to end our borders, which they've already done by fiat without an executive order. And then to confuse the public, they have the media come out and say, Obama's been dealt a defeat. He's afraid in the midterm elections in the Senate to legalize the illegals with an executive order. Plus, it's unconstitutional. He's already done it. They've got deportations back to 3 to 5 years. They're not even having the deportation hearings for at least 3 to 4 years. It's a total fraud. The Republican leadership is involved in this. There's big studies out today saying that there's going to be a huge Republican wave, probably taking the Senate. The House will remain Republican. And the only hope the Democrats have is Hillary. And they admit, because it's the novelty that she's a woman. Notice the Democrats attacked Sarah Palin with the whole line that she was stupid. The stereotype they were pushing that women are dumb or that women are ditzy. But with Hillary, oh, she's so smart. Oh, yeah, like a barracuda. Oh, women are finally going to be in charge. A warmongering criminal who's made hundreds of millions of dollars off speaking fees and fake charities. I mean, can we get rid of the Clintons? I mean, I don't want Jeb Bush to run. I don't want another Bush. The issue here, though, is it's another stunt, jingoism. And, of course, it's not like we just don't have a Democratic problem with Hillary Clinton. We have John Boehner and the Republican senators and the Republican House leaders who helped write Obamacare, who helped write the amnesty plan, who were bought and paid for by the Zuckerbergs and the David Rockefellers and the Carlos Slims and all the usual Warren Buffett suspects. They want a North American Union. They want to exploit workers. They want to drive down wages. They've got